Hello, everyone. Good morning. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all doing fine, and hope everyone can hear me loud and clearly, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, everyone. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, guys. Look, guys, you know what? It's a new week, a new dawn, a new day, a new life for us, for Manchester United at least anyway, guys. And we hope for some positive news coming out of the airwaves this week, of course, not least in regards to the takeover, which we are desperate to happen, of course, guys. I mean, we get a little bit of news and that's it. You know what? All of us are absolutely giddy, excited. You know, because that is what the Glazers have put us through. That's what they've done to this football club. That's what they've done to us as a fan base. They've actually made us so, I mean, they've done anyway, guys. Look, I don't want to get started off on a negative note, but you know what? The Glazers have really destroyed this football club and it's destroyed the fan base as well. The division is rife as well in regards to we're split as a fan base and we can't agree on anything, guys. We could say the sky is blue. Someone would say the sky is pink. We will argue about it until the cows come home. That is the way we are. And that is the Glazeronomics. That is what the Glazers have done. Divide and conquer. Politics in the house. That's what they've done, guys. That's what the Glazers have done, of course, guys. So we're hoping for a little bit of positive news coming out of the UAE, maybe, where I am, of course. If I hear it, I will let you guys know, of course, guys. Absolutely. I'll give you the exclusive, etc., guys. But let's get straight into a little bit of transfer news, shall we, guys? Manchester United are targeting Brazilian wonderkid Breno Biden. Biden, not a great name in the world, but Breno Biden, a midfielder, CDM, and attacking a midfielder from Corinthians. He's only 20 years old and only valued around 12 million euros. Manchester United are looking to do a deal in January for the midfielder. And guys, we do face competition for this player. He's got 11 caps for the Brazilian under-21s, 1 goal, extremely talented. The next one through, you know, the conveyor belt of Brazil, the Brazilian conveyor belt is not quite as potent as it used to be, but he is a very, very good player, exceptionally good player that can fit into that midfield in January. Manchester United could quite possibly make a move for Mr. Biden, not President Biden, Breno Biden of Brazil in January. Very, very interesting stuff there, guys. So, guys, look, you know, we're linked to another player, another day, another player we are linked to. Again, another player Manchester United are linked to. Here we go again. Leipzig player Yan Diomande. Yan Diomande has just literally signed for Leipzig. He is a left winger, plays for the Ivory Coast, 1 cap, 1 goal. He's valued at around 1.5 million, but that will be out the window. Don't worry about that, guys. It will be a lot more than that, of course, guys. Yan Diomande is a left winger, one of the conveyor belt of players that Leipzig produce. I don't know how Leipzig do it. I really don't know how Leipzig do it, but they do it, and they do it pretty well, guys. I don't know how they do it, but they do bring through these players. They get these players, they give them opportunities, and they seem to thrive. And you can't argue with that at the end of the day, can you? You can't really say much about that, but other than they're really good at what they do. They're really good at what they do, and Yan Diomande is no exception. And yeah, guys, very, very exciting news. Look, I like this. I like this. I especially like the fact that we're looking in Brazil. We don't do that often, guys. We should do it far more often. We should really do it far more often. I don't know whether Man United have a little bit of PTSD in regards to it, in regards to Kleberson and players like that of the past, because we don't do it enough, guys. But Breno Biden, 20 years old, midfielder, CDM, attacking midfielder, Corinthians, 12 million euros. He is valued at. And Yan Diomande of Leipzig, he is a left winger. Can play a left wing back, maybe. Who knows, guys? But he's a left winger. Ivory Coast, 1 cap, 1 goal. Guys, those are the new players off the block. Courtesy of Stretford Post, of course. Exclusive for you guys. Absolutely. Really, really interesting news, guys. Look, we have been linked to a number of players. Another player that Man United are linked to is Dan Senate. Dan Senate is at Angers. He plays for Angers in France. Left back and a centre back, Mali, 23 caps. 3 caps, should I say, under 23 Mali. We've got Vasilij Novicic. He's a 17-year-old from Belgrade, CDM from Serbia, linked to Manchester United. We've also got, obviously, Yehor Yarmoliuk, of course. I've spoken about him before, the Ukrainian 21-year-old midfielder, guys. And not forgetting Juan Luis Sanchez of Sevilla, who is a right back, 50 million from Sevilla. So Juan Luis Sanchez is one of them ones who's a 22-year-old, extremely talented Spanish international, guys. 15 million for him. So number of names are coming out of Man United at the moment. A lot of players are coming out on those wing positions. And the midfield, obviously the CDM and the central midfield position is very important at the moment, the way we're going. We obviously need these type of players. We need these midfielders and these wing backs. This suits Ruben Amorim's system to a T, of course, guys, absolutely. But I'm going to keep up to date with all the links what Manchester United are interested in. Will Manchester United make a January signing? We know about Man United over the years that we do a lot of talking, but when it gets to January, we don't make any moves. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. We talk a good game, before January. And then when January comes, we're waiting until the summer. We'll wait until the summer, and then we'll get the deals done. We're just waiting until the summer. And that's what it is at the end of the day, guys. But yeah, at least we are being linked to a few players. That is exciting. At least we are looking for the future. At least we're looking in the likes of Brazil, which we haven't done in a long time, of course, guys. Let me just say good morning to everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Good to see you all in the house. And Manchester United, look, I would envision if Manchester United do a loan deal for Mainu, if Mainu goes out on loan, I would envision Man United doing at least two bits of business in January, two bits of business, whether that one be a loan, one be in the purchase, who knows? But I really doubt that Manchester United are going to spend a lot of money in January. That's just my feeling on it. I know the Baleba situation. I know that Baleba's basically got a transfer request in, and he could be leaving the club. It looks like he's likely to be leaving Brighton and Hove Albion. Will Manchester United make a move for that? I'm not too sure that would be January. I just don't have the feeling that Man United are going to do any business in January unless it is a loan, or unless a player goes out, i.e. Kobe Mainu, for example, goes out on loan, or Xerxes goes out on loan as well, or we sell one of those players. I can't see Man United for the life of me selling Kobe Mainu. I really can't see that. But we have to think about the future of Kobe Mainu. We have to think about himself, his game time, World Cup, etc., as with Xerxes as well. So it could be a possibility that Man United do loan out a couple of players and bring two in. It could be that. But I just don't see the purpose of loaning them out. To be honest with you, if they have a future, they have a future. If they don't, they don't, at the end of the day, in my opinion. Let me just say good morning to everyone in the house. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you. Big up UK Rap. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up Sal. Smash the likes and subscribe button. This amazing channel. Thank you so much, UK Rap. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again. Big up Benny, the legend. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Neil, big up Salinio. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing good. Hope everything's fair. Don't be a dirty scouser. Drop a like. Thank you so much, Neil. Absolutely concur with that, my friend. Absolutely concur with that. Oh, where did we go? There we go. Let me just get this back up. Absolutely. Ephraim. Big up, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. I do not think the Glazers will afford if we do not finish in the Champions League. They will sell sooner rather than later. Look, the Glazers won't sell if we don't get in the Champions League. Let me just tell you that right now. The Glazers find ways to make money. The Glazers would just sort out a commercial deal, sell a couple of players, things like that. I think the Glazers only sell if it affects their pockets. I mean, drastically affects their pockets, i.e., the regeneration project. We didn't get the Glazers. We ain't been in the Champions League in a couple of years. Did we? We didn't. They didn't sell, did they? You know what I mean? So don't think that. Don't believe that. It's nothing to do with that. Absolutely not. It's to do with obviously. Good morning, Stephen. Danke, Mr. Stretford Post. How you doing, Neil? Big up yourself. Danke's German, right? Is it hello in German? Big up, my friend. Big up, Ephraim. Sal, we need South American fighters in our squad. We need fighters, full stop, whether they're from England, South America, Brazil, Australia, Japan, England, wherever. We need fighters. Sal, do you think the takeover will happen? I think it will eventually happen. I'm gonna be positive here. I think it eventually will happen. I think the takeover will. The noises that are surrounding Manchester United at the moment, as I said yesterday, I've said it the day before yesterday. No smoke without fire. There must be something going on, whether that be the regeneration project, whether that be something is hit a snag, has gone wrong, or there's been some kind of fallout in regards to that. Maybe that, and I just don't see how a guy like Turkey Al Sheikh can come out and tweet that. And I'll say it again today. I've repeated myself a few times about it. I don't know why he would do that. I just don't know. A guy of his ilk, a guy of his stature, Just don't see why he would do that. And this is what makes me think that they are looking to sell the football club. And that's going to be very interesting because obviously we got Ineos there as well, Jim Ratcliffe, etc. So let's wait and see what happens. But, fingers crossed, guys. All we can do is hope. All we can do is hope. And all we can do is carry on getting the news. And hopefully if the news carries on about this sale process, we end up selling the football club. I really, really do hope so, of course. It will be absolutely incredible. Neil, I'm concerned about taking our player whose mentality is like Baleba and Bremo is the template. No noise, just work on the pitch. Neil, I agree with you. This is something that I've been pointing out over the last few days, and people just back Baleba regardless of what he does. I don't understand that. We have to look at the realism in regards to players' mentality. Mentality is very important. You down tool once, you're down tool again. You throw your club under the bus, you're going to throw Manchester United under the bus. This is how I see it. At the end of the day, you have to act professional at all time. I don't know whether certain people have seen world-class players being played before. I don't know. But there are people out there who just back a player regardless blindly as well. Don't know him from Adam. They don't know him. And they just back him. And I think the mentality has to be one like Mbeumo, like Cunha, just completely concentrated on the football. And that's how it should be. No noise, just talk. In regards to down tooling, we've had enough of that over the years. And I think Man United need to move on from those type of players that are addicted to down tooling, and we've been there and we don't need this anymore. I really do hope that Baleba, as a fan of Baleba, by the way, I really do hope that Baleba picks it up. I really do hope he finds his form. I really do, because I really want him at Man United. And I don't want to be thinking, what I thought of him before, it wasn't right. I got it wrong. He's not that player that we need. I don't want to be that, because I really liked him last season. I really did. And to be honest with you, if he doesn't improve his performances until January, let's say, what are we going to do, guys? Do we still go with a move? Do we slap down 60, 70 million on Baleba, who hasn't been performing? Do we do that? Or we just put the money towards Adam Wharton? For me, at the moment, it's Adam Wharton all day long. All day long. Without even a question, without hesitation, it's Adam Wharton all day long for me. That is what I would say, because he's professional. And Elliot Anderson as well. There's a number of players out there. Lamine Kamara, Agume, players that play, regardless. Bless out King Jam. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. My birthday is also on the 25th of November. How did you know Oh, yes, King Jam. Happy. Yes, it is my birthday on the 25th of November as well. Sagittarius is in the house, guys. Big up. Cheers. Cheers, King Jam. You know what? Nothing like a November baby, mate. Nothing like it, mate. The best. Sagittarius is all day long. Cheers. Big up, King Jam. Hope you're well. Morning, Sal, bro. Give me a up, brother. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I need something in January, brother. We definitely love something, bro. Look, it's such a shame that we're going into January when we should have done the deals in the summer. We said this at the time. We should have done the deals in the summer and gave Ruben Amorim the best opportunity as possible to become successful at this football club this season. Unfortunately, we didn't, and now we're looking at January as we envisioned, guys. And we need a midfielder, we need a right wing back, just like we did in the summer. And we could have told them that a long time ago. You snooze, you lose, and we didn't fix the squad. We didn't do the rebuild to the effect that we needed to do it. Unfortunately, we have a lot of players linked to Man United. Yan Diomande, Bruno Biden today are being linked to Manchester United, which is great, fantastic news. Which means that we are actually still thinking about transfers. Whether that comes into fruition and happens, who knows? I would love it too, because I think Man United got a very weak squad at the moment. Not least when the AFCON starts. Manchester United have got a few players going to the AFCON. Of course, we got Ahmad, we got Mazraoui, and we got Mbeumo going to the AFCON, and Kone, of course, guys, as well, potentially going to the AFCON. So Man United are going to need to use all their facilities in regards to this squad, this very lightweight squad. This is why it was very disappointing for me to get knocked out of the League Cup, because we could have played a few youngsters in there, and who knows, they might have got the experience and might have been good enough to play in the first team. Who knows, guys. But Man United do have a few players that be going to the AFCON, which I will be doing a watch-along for, hopefully, guys. I will be doing a watch-alongs for the AFCON. Looking forward to it. But Man United should be able to cope. They should be able to cope. Man United should be in this position where they shouldn't be able to cope, They should have had the squad sorted out. Absolutely. So, as to see, hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you. Big up. Neil, thank you. Thank you. Big up. Danke. I've got to remember that. Big up. Offsides. I only know offsides and Danke. Offsides is offside. Offside, absolutely. Stephen, Can't wait till the international break is over. It's boring, but we don't know what United will show up at Liverpool the way United play. I don't tell you, John. Why don't Man United do this, mate? Look, why don't Man United change the narrative, right? Why don't Man United go out there believing they can win and shock Liverpool after the international break? Shock Liverpool. Go out there, believe in themselves. Liverpool are not in the best position at the moment. I know that Liverpool are going to be looking to beat us. No, they've been off 3 on the bounce. They're going to be looking to bounce back, of course. Why don't Man United change that narrative and go to Anfield and win that game? Imagine that. Make a name for yourself. At the end of the day, as I said, greatness wasn't built on comfort zones. And I'll say that 1,000 times over. And we need to go there and believe that we can. Because at the end of the day, 11 against 11, we've got talented players. Let's go there. Let's make a statement and announce to the whole Premier League that we have arrived. That's what we need to do. Not worry about it's Anfield. Not worry about it's Liverpool. Who cares? We're Manchester United. We've been through far greater adversities at our football club than Liverpool can even imagine. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, Gary. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. Hope you're having a great day. Good to see you, my friend, Gary. Good to see you. Sal, I feel like we will get something from Liverpool game. I feel that as well. I always do. Every single game, Ephraim. Every single game, I feel like that. I'd never get pessimistic at all. Absolutely not. So I hear Adam Wharton is a United fan. Is there any truth? Look, everyone's a United fan. Everyone that is, at the end of the day, up for debate, open for debate. Of course, that is open for debate. You know what I mean? So, obviously, Adam Wharton played for Blackburn Rovers. He comes from Blackburn. He doesn't come from Crystal Palace. He comes from Blackburn Rovers. So he's from that area. And look, he may be a Man United fan. Who knows that? But everyone is a Man United fan. Belabe is a Man United fan. Blah, 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 blah. I would say this, my friends. I would say this, that this doesn't really matter much when you're talking about players. Jokeres was apparently a Man United fan, but then apparently he's an Arsenal fan, etc. It's unknown. It's unknown unless you've got pictures of in a Man United shirt and that. You know what I mean? Neil, November babies were conceived on Valentine's Day. Your parents were freaks. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Valentine's Day is in February, mate. I don't know where you got that, mate. Well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you've done the math, haven't you? Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing? Stephen, Liverpool are always up for versus United, home or away. Yes, they are, of course, and so should we. We must believe we can win. I can't sign on to any other way. I think you have to sign on to the way of Gary's thinking here. You have to be on Gary's side here. You have to have the mentality that we're going there to win. Manchester United should never be going into the games. Oh, you know what? I'll be happy with a draw. Nah, we're going there to win, guys. By hook or by crook, by cheating, by winning fairly, we're going to go there and win. That is what is the most important thing. Whether we do that or not is another thing. But before the game's even started, we need to try to go there and win, guys, and try and go there and make a statement. That is what Manchester United need to do, guys. And change the record, change the narrative. Let's do that, guys. Absolutely. Neil, bro, I remember even on our heyday, LFC always managed to pull up against us. That's why I was pissed off when the 7-1 against them. 7-0. Look, one thing about Liverpool, they will always show up against Man United. Even when we were in our heyday under Alex Ferguson, they would always, time and time again, show up against Man United. But generally, under Alex Ferguson, Man United had the better of Liverpool. I remember last-minute goals and that. But playing at Anfield is always incredibly difficult. It's always incredibly difficult. I've been to a number of Man United-Liverpool games where Man United have been fantastically well. Remember, Liverpool almost cost us a treble in 1999, 2-2 at Anfield. Remember that? They tried their best to stop us from winning a treble, just like we did in 1978, 79 against Liverpool when we stopped them winning the treble, of course, guys. So that's not, there's no love lost between Man United and Liverpool. And I would expect them to give their all. I would expect them to raise their game. And I expect Man United to raise their game. And I expect us to go out there all guns blazing and fighting for that badge. Because that is what we should do. You know what? We shouldn't be rolling over. That 7-0 will live with me forever. It will live with me forever. I still can't believe what we did. I still can't believe the players that were on the pitch. That's why I never have any affiliation with these players. I don't have any affiliation. I don't have any emotional attachment to these players, including Bruno, who, of course, is the captain of the ship that went to Liverpool and lost 7-0, of course, guys. So, no, I don't have any affiliation with them. They embarrassed me, and they embarrassed us quite a lot over the years. And maybe it's time now they make up for it. They start making up for the embarrassments that we've had over the years, isn't it? Maybe it's about time they started doing that rather than, embarrassing us even more, of course. Good morning, Wesley. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you from South Africa. Big up Cape Town. Hope you're doing well, my friends over there. Big up, brother. I just want the real Manchester United to show up at Liverpool. I want the Man United, the heritage Man United, the Man United with a grit between their teeth. Because even, guys, I will tell you, guys, in the 80s, when Man United weren't winning league titles, but Liverpool were. Liverpool were winning Champions Leagues and winning league titles. Man United were not. Man United were known as a cup team in the 80s. Man United still got results at Anfield. They still got results at Anfield, and they made things happen. That's what they did. You know, that as I said earlier, they cost Liverpool a treble, right? It was Man United who cost Liverpool a treble, right? So we need to go there and believe in ourselves, guys. And if we could beat Liverpool, guys, there's no reason why we can't go on a title charge. Absolutely. There's no reason why we can't do that, guys. Absolutely not, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Wesley. Good to see you. And big up South Africa, of course. Absolutely. Stephen. Sure, Cole Palmer is a United fan, and he went to Chelsea. It means nothing to a player. It's all about mega deals. It's all about mega deals. Look, Cole Palmer played for Man City. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, if he was a Man United fan, why didn't we sign him in the academy? I mean, it's a little bit telling in regards to Man United where their brain is. They haven't got their ear to the ground and stuff like that. I would love Cole Palmer at Man United. I think he would have been fabulous at Man United. Unfortunately, we didn't find him quick enough, or he did scout with Man United. He went to Man City, didn't he? Really weird. You know, we should have our ear to the ground in regards to players like that. We used to, of course, and he should have been at Man United, not Man City, and he probably would have been playing for Man United right now. Look, he is a Man United fan, but as you said there, Stephen, there is no loyalty in football anymore, my friend. There's no loyalty anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. It's all about the mega deals, as you said. It's all about the money, as you said. You know, it's all about the Skrilla. No one cares about who I used to support. I mean, I'm different, and you are different. We love the football club. We were raised on the football club. We're from different generations. I would always want to play for Man United. If Man United came calling, I want to play for Man United, even with less money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, you know, unfortunately, this is just the way football is these days. You don't get any loyalty. This is why we don't get the Scholeses, the Keanes, the Giggs, the Beckhams of this world anymore. They're more interested in what's the best deal for me? How much money can I get? You know, how much are they offering me? How much are they? I don't care about supporting the football club. And that's unfortunately the way the cookie crumbles these days, of course, guys. Absolutely. Definitely, absolutely, Kenny, absolutely. Doesn't mean anything. Marky Mark, good morning, you legend. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Morning, Sounder community. How are you, my friend? Very well. Good to see you, my friend. We will win against Liverpool and knock them off their perch. Keep up the great work, Sal. Big up. Look, guys, you know what? We spent years and years and years trying to knock Liverpool off the perch, which we did. Now, Liverpool are slowly but surely getting back on their perch. All right, I know they've only won 2 titles, guys. Let's not forget Liverpool, guys. You've won 2 titles in 30 years, and they've got big mouths for a team that won 2 titles in 30 years. Very big mouth, all right? But what I would say is that this is why they like to play down Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Beckham, and all that when you're talking about the greatest players of all time. Scholes is the best midfielder in Premier League history. I would argue that with anyone, guys, absolutely. And Liverpool fans always say that he's not, but he is. And even Gerrard said he's the best player right now. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, like, you know what? We need to knock them back down to earth. We need to humble them. That's what we need to do, guys. We need to humble Liverpool, guys. You know, we need to go there and think about what they've done to us and think about, you know what, we're going to go out there and we're going to absolutely stuff them in their own ground. Forget You Never Walk Alone, all that malarkey. We don't get intimidated by songs, fairy tales. We don't. What we do, we go to Anfield and we go there and we win. That is what we used to do, and that's what Man United do, and that's what Man United have done for years, and that's Man United's duty to do that against Liverpool. Absolutely, that's our duty. We should do that, and we will do that. I will always have belief in this team. Absolutely. Not this team, but this football club. Absolutely. Neil, there's no loyalty nowadays, just hearsay. It's just the way the world has been set out now. Like you said, Sal, United fans are split neither here or there. You stand for nothing, you fall for everything. The Man United fans are all about opinions. Man United fans these days are not about for the love of the club. And when I was growing up supporting this club, Man United used to have a family atmosphere. We used to know each other. We used to love each other. And this is what Man United were back in the day. Nowadays, it's all about, I want to be wrong, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, you're right, I'm wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's all about being right, ultimately, right? And this is what it is. It's an ego trip. It's an ego trip. You know, I said this first. I told you I said this. I told you about that. Hold that, blah, blah, blah. It's all about that these days, you know, and obviously some of these content creators don't really help this matter. Of course, they do feed into that narrative, don't they? Unfortunately, guys, and this is what they do. You know, they don't really love the club. We do. We supported the club a very, very long time. We do, of course, we do. But they certainly don't, of course, absolutely. Wesley, what a joke it would be if we win the league this season. Anything is possible. Look, happen to let's see. Wesley, whilst we still got an opportunity mathematically, I will still believe in anything that Man United could do because I've seen a lot of things. However, do I trust these players? No, I don't. If we had Ryan Giggs, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, I would probably say, yeah. You know what I mean? I believe this team can come back and win the league. You know, looking at these players who've never won the league, many of them have never won the league, including our captain, not even come close. Do I trust them? No, I don't. Do I believe Manchester United as a football club? Yes, I do. I believe Man United can do anything as a football club. And I think, you know, with the stars, when the stars align, you never know what can happen. As you said there with Leicester City, you never know what can happen. At the end of the day, football is about confidence. And when you start winning games, it breeds more confidence. And you get in an addiction of winning games. And you start winning games that you didn't expect us to win. Just like Leicester City did all those years ago when they just kept winning. And it was an addiction. It is addiction. Like losing is an addiction. You know, losing addiction. But if Leicester City can do it, of course Manchester United can do it. And I don't think we should be so pessimistic all the time. And I think there are a lot of people who don't believe. They don't believe. I've always believed. I said at the beginning of the season, we're going to win a league. I know people say, oh, Sal, you're just overly zealous because you're a Man United fan and blah, blah, blah. But I did say that we're going to win a league. I said, we're going to win a league. We're going to be fine. We're going to win the league. And, you know, I think if Man United beat Liverpool, right, or even look, guys, if we draw against Liverpool, right, it's not the end of the world if we draw against Liverpool. But if we beat Liverpool, imagine that, guys. We have beaten Liverpool at Anfield. We could beat anyone. That is how we should mentality. That is how the approach should be. My approach this season was we beat Arsenal at the Emirates with 10 men last season. So why can't we beat bloody Bournemouth? You know what I mean? That is the mentality that it should be. You know, but unfortunately, they don't have this mentality. You know, they don't have that. You know, I would feed it into them. You know, that, listen, we're Manchester United, guys. They're Liverpool. They got 2 titles in 30 years. 2 in 30 years. We've dominated the Premier League. We are Manchester United. We go to Anfield and we're going to show you who we are. You know, and that's how we should be, guys. And we're catching Liverpool at a time when Liverpool are not at their greatest. Do you know what I mean? Big up, Kenny. Put that energy on Bafana. We were so close to qualifying. United are a commercial club. Absolutely. I did say Scholes. I don't know what you're talking about, Daryl. Sorry. I did say Scholes. The points is not far apart, so it's possible for us to win 5 in a row. It's possible for anything to happen in the Premier League, Wesley. It's possible for us to win 5 games in a row, of course. You know, and I would say, yes, we can win 5 in a row. Why can't we? You know, at the end of the day, I don't think this Premier League, I think Liverpool fans are saying this is the hardest Premier League of all time, mate. They're tough monsters, mate. They don't understand how good the Premier League used to be. You know what I mean? The Premier League is weak now, I would say. The Premier League is weak. And anyone who thinks the Premier League is not weak, the weakest it's ever been, doesn't really know football, in my opinion. And I would say that the only thing they have these days is athleticism. That's all they have. But talent now, at the end of the day, you know. Gary, sadly, I think Amram will think he's strengthening the team. Amram will think he's strengthening the team with the awful trio of Maguire, Dalot, and Shaw starting, and Bruno number 8. Unfortunately, yeah. Well. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. I know that, Gary. You know that, Gary. Bruno, Maguire, Dalot, Shaw, they're not good enough. I know they're not good enough, mate. I mean, I know there's a lot of hype around Diego, about Dalot, Ahmad. I don't get it. I think he's a good player. A player but I come from a generation, obviously, of Cristiano Ronaldo, of David Beckham on the right. So I'm going to be incredibly biased. And I'm going to hold people to that kind of standard, isn't it? And that's because I've been a Man United fan my whole life. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen greatness. Neil, if there is anyone who can win 5 in a row, it's Ruben. After being thrown under the captain, under by the captain, he's the biggest chance to turn it around. It will be now. He needs to be solid with the standards now. Absolutely, Stephen. Big up, Stephen. United need to start getting points on the road. Too many defeats away. They can't get into the top 8. Big up. Let's hope so. Let's start with Liverpool, of course. Absolutely. Starting with Liverpool. Neil, honestly, did expect to win against Sunderland, but did expect to win against Sunderland because that's how we roll. They need to be consistent over the next 10-game period. Of course, without saying absolutely, Neil. Without saying, of course, absolutely. I said Giggs and Scholes, Daryl. I'm talking about Giggs and Scholes in regards to what Liverpool fans think of Giggs and Scholes. They think they're low. I said Giggs and Scholes. They think that they're not the greatest. I said that Scholes is the best midfielder of a generation of the last 30 years in Premier League history, at least in my opinion. And I think Giggs is up there as well. He said Giggs and Scholes is they're not even close. They're not even. He said they're overrated. That's what it is. It was about Giggs and Scholes, fella. Wesley did struggle to win 2 games in a row. Absolutely. I mean, let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. Dalot against Salah. Look, I mean, it's going to be a long day if that is the case. Absolutely. We can't have Dalot as a left wing back. I would play Dorgu. He's more defensively inclined, of course. Dalot will need a brief change at halftime because Salah is going to tear it up. I'm not worried about Salah tearing it up. Absolutely. Don't really care. Kai, good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning, Kai. How you doing, my friend? I don't really care what's going to tear up Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care what this to tear it up. Fuck him. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? And I would say that to every single, you're Man United or you're a mouse. No, and that's what I would say, guys. Wesley, I'm tired of losing to Liverpool because my wife makes fun of me. Absolutely. I am as well. Look, I don't want to hear about tearing up, about this, about that. F him. Forget him. I don't care about Salah. I don't care about all them players who play for Liverpool. It doesn't, guys. If we had them both now, brother, we would be different grade. Of course we would. Look, guys, you know what? Arguing with Liverpool fans is a bit like arguing with a wall. You won't win because at the end of the day, they just think that their players are the best and this league is the best it's ever been. Chuff monsters. They've never seen the league when it was at its greatest. Do you know what I mean? This league, Southampton would win this league. Southampton of the 90s would win the Premier League today. That's how poor the league is today. Let me tell you that right now. Southampton will rock up with Matt Letizia, guys, and Marian Pajas and win the league today. That is how weak this league is, guys. The league nowadays is the weakest it's been in history, guys. Players are soft, snowflakes. Players are weak. Players are lazy. Players have got social media. That's all they do. That's all they have. They have no work ethic. They have no talent. That's why I can go through every single player in the Premier League and say they had world-class players. They had world-class players. Blackburn had Alan Shearer, Chris Sutton. Newcastle had Shearer, Ferdinand, Asprilla, Ginola. Man United, of course, had Solskjaer, Dwight York, Andy Cole, Mark Hughes. Arsenal had Dennis Bergkamp, Anelka. Can we keep going on? Should we keep going on? Should we keep going on? Of course we can go. Duncan Ferguson of Everton, Daniel Amokachi of Everton. They had great players everywhere in the Premier League, guys. Everywhere. Tottenham had Jurgen Klinsmann, Dimitrescu, Petrescu. Guys, let's talk about that. The league now is not as good as it was in the 90s growing up when Man United were dominant. This is why Paul Scholes, this is why Ryan Giggs are better than any one of your little players that you throw out there to me right now, including your De Bruyne's and your Salahs and your all these players there. So, no, guys, they're absolutely delusional. Liverpool fans, my goodness me. Stephen, to say Giggs and Scholes are overrated is insane. They were world class. It's insane, and I question people's ball knowledge when they question the authority of Ryan Giggs and Paul Scholes and Roy Keane and Beckham, all these players. You know what I mean? I question their actual ball knowledge. I do, because you're speaking on a place of hate, not logic. Kenny, I have majority of working colleagues who are Liverpool fans. I mean, trust me. Salah is an downward spiral. He has been playing shit, since he got his new contract, of course. Big up, Leeson. How you doing? Absolutely good to see you, Leeson. Any update about the Sal, please? Nothing at the moment, my friend. I spoke at the beginning of the show. Guys, listen to the beginning of the show. Listen, Salah is on a downward spiral. Neil, Dalot is on the way to incompetent in his positioning style. He will make Manan look like Messi. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this. Don't bring in any negatives, guys. Sal, what's up with this Brazilian wonder kid we signed? What position he midfield, my friend? Go back to the beginning of the show, Wesley. You'll see it, my friend. Big up, Wesley. Benny, our 94-95, which we lost the league by a point, will win the 25 by about 15 points. Fact, at least, mate. At least. Any Man United fan in Alex Ferguson era would win this league easy. We'll make it look like Scotland. Honest to God, we will do that, guys. I'm not being overly giddy. I'm not being arrogant. We will make it look like Scotland. Absolutely. Mark. Sure, Dallo, Martinez, Bruno, and Casemiro played at 7-0. De Gea didn't make a single save. It was awful, mate. I don't want to be thinking about it this time in the morning. Of course, Neil, Scholes and Giggsy were part of the only 11 that could go against the best team in the history of football. Barca team, the Ronaldinho could not be touched, lads. Today, Xavi, Iniesta. I mean, Xavi and Iniesta were fans of Scholes, by the way. And people say that's a lie, but I've got evidence. So we do not fear anybody. We are united if we do not believe what is supporting mean. Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to support the football club. We can't worry about what Mohamed Salah is going to do. We can't worry about what other players are going to do. We just have to believe in what we're going to do. That's what we have to believe. And what will be. Of course, it will be. We can't control everything, but what we can control is our mentality. We got to go into that game thinking we are Man United. It's about time we changed the narrative. It's about time we made a little bit of history for ourselves, a little bit of mini history. Do you know what I mean? In regards to ourselves, that's what we need to do. We can't worry about, what Salah's going to do this, where he's going to do that. I know that Dalot's a bad player. You don't need to tell me that Dalot's a bad player. Dalot should not be playing left wing. I know he shouldn't be playing left wing. Dorgu should be playing left wing. But whatever we do, I don't want to care about what they do. What they do. I want to think about what Man United are going to do, all right? And I actually feel that Man United have got a chance. I really do. I think we have. And I have to believe that. If I'm not going to believe that, who is going to believe that at the end of the day? Giggsy at Barca would win a Ballon d'Or in today's eight. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day. Exactly, Sal. They dreamed of playing with Scholes. Yeah, look, guys, at the end of the day, you can speak on hate. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what they do. Some Liverpool fans speak on hate, and that's just the way it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Kenny, I don't think Salah would do much, but I only worry about PGMO. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, look, VAR, Liverpool, as we know, they're not called Liverpool for no reason. Leeson, we play much better against the top team, so I believe we can make something going for. Absolutely, Leeson, I agree with that. I would be more worried, Leeson, with Bournemouth away these days. You know what I mean? With Man United, I would be more worried with Bournemouth than I would be at Liverpool. I'm not disrespecting Liverpool or anything like that. It's just the way Man United have done things over the years. And that is why I don't believe in this team. That's why I don't trust this team. I don't trust these players. A lot of the players that have been there for many, many years, I don't trust them. I don't. Because they can go to Liverpool and draw 2-2 like they did last season and should have won the game 3-2. Maguire missed an open goal in the end, right? And they can go to the Emirates and win with 10 men and the referee against them. But when we come up against Grimsby, when we come up against Bournemouth, when we come up against Wolves, we fall flat on our face. And that is why I don't trust this team. And I don't. However, Liverpool game, this is a chance to win 2 in a row. I mean, wouldn't it be ironic that our second game 1 in a row would be against Liverpool? And then we can put that narrative to bed. That is what is most important, of course. Absolutely, Neil. Liverpool for a reason. Absolutely, bruv. Stephen, United will always have a chance anywhere. It's whether they show up and take the chance, like versus City and Arsenal. United was the better team that day. Absolutely, and let's not forget that we've knocked out Barcelona in recent years and things like that. We do play well against the teams we're not expected to play well against. That's what we do. That is how Man United are. I would fancy Man United to go to the Bernabeu and get a result. That is how Man United are at the end of the day. I don't worry about those teams. It's the other teams that I worry about. Man United are likely to beat Real Madrid, but the next week lose to Grimsby. You know what I mean? And this is what we do, one thing I'm really excited about, though, guys. I'm really enthusiastic about Seny Lamens. I think Seny Lamens is a very, very important part of the puzzle here. I think Seny Lamens, we've had a lot of problems with goalkeeping over the last few years, and I think Seny Lamens is going to add an element of calmness into our game. I feel, and that would just resonate to the rest of the team, hopefully. Wesley, Marcus Leonardo, big up. Absolutely. Guys, it's all about belief at the end of the day. Look, we got to get this international break out the way, of course. Hopefully, we end this international break without any injuries. One more game to go, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. And I just hope that Man United show up. And we deserve it as a fan base. They owe it to us. Prove to us. Help us believe in you. Help us believe in you. That would be my message to the Manchester United players. Help us to believe in you. Show us you can go to Anfield, right? Show us that, as Luke Shaw said before the season. I don't really listen to what Luke Shaw said, but Luke Shaw said something at the beginning of the season. Luke Shaw said at the beginning of the season that we can win the league. Let's not forget what he said at the beginning of the season. He said, we can win the league. Show us. Prove it. Stop talking. Do it. And that's what I would say to those players. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Neil, we know this squad. They will slice your ticket fast. Absolutely. Even Ruben says he doesn't know what was going on with them. Even Benny McCarthy called it. I said it, Neil. Benny McCarthy called it in training. He said they perform like world-class players in training. When they get to match day, they're different players. He can't recognize them. What does that tell you, guys? Well, it can mean a couple of things. It can mean that they're lying in training. They're manipulating. They're lying. And then when they go on the pitch to sack a manager or whatever they're doing, they don't perform. Or it could be something mental. It could be a mentality thing. It could be the fact that when they go on the pitch, they just freeze. Maybe that is that. Maybe. Training is easy. No pressure. It's a bit like when we had the COVID season. You remember we had the COVID season and we went on that unbeaten run with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There was no pressure because there were no fans in the stadium. You know, maybe these players are a little bit, mentality is flawed. And if they're like that, I don't think these players should be playing for Man United, in my opinion. Stephen, England playing tonight, tomorrow. Tomorrow, Stephen. England are playing tomorrow, my friend. 14th, I believe it is. It's 13th today, yeah. Van Dijk is 34 and Salah 30. We need to hide. They're absolutely, brother. We need to put them to rest. That's what we need to do. Absolutely, Mark. Sal, I want to see the performance last year at Anfield. It was a good performance, to be fair. Good performance. Couple of mistakes here and there, but it was a good performance overall. Man United should have won the game. If bloody Maguire, if it fell to anyone else on the pitch, even Rasmus Højlund, that would be 3-2 to Man United, and we're going away with a famous win, you know. Mbeumo played on the right for his last club, a very successful. Why can't we have him on the right? I agree. Move Bruno to number 10 and start Manu at the number 8. So it's damn frustrating. I just don't get it. I don't get it either, Gary. I don't get it either. I really don't. Mbeumo actually is better on the right. He's not a number 10. I think he's a right winger and he cuts in and he's good on like that. I don't know why we don't do that, because obviously, and also guys, when you play Bruno as a number 10, right? If you play Cunha and Bruno as a number 10, right? And or Mount and Bruno, whoever you want. When the game gets difficult in midfield, you can move Bruno into the midfield, right? You can move him into the midfield, and then you can number up on the team in the midfield. When you play Mbeumo and Cunha, they can't move into midfield. You know what I mean? And this is the difference. This is why I don't understand why we don't move Mbeumo, exactly like Gary's saying, and why we don't move Mbeumo to the right, play Bruno as a 10, play Manu as a number 8. I don't know why. I mean, I'm lost for words with that. I just don't. But all we can do is hope that we get the results. That is what Man United need, isn't it? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. Neil, honestly, that game against Sunderland was top, so I'm not sure if it break come at the wrong time. I mean, this happened against Burnley, didn't it, Neil? We beat Burnley. We played very well. Should have been 4-0 up in the first half. Then we went an international break and lost 4-0 to Man City afterwards, and 3-0. And yeah, look, you know, and that's been Man United's Achilles heel, which has been the international break. Hopefully, we change the record. Like I said at the top of the show, hopefully we change the narrative. Hopefully things change, you know, and we actually surprise ourselves, you know. Wesley, back three should be Euro, De Ligt, and Heaven. I agree with that one, Wesley. Absolutely, my friend. Daryl, yeah, Sal, one game left, and I believe we will win against Liverpool. I'm not worried about them at all. I'm not worried. I mean, why would we worry? There's no point worrying. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. What Liverpool are going to do, hypothetically, what they're going to do, predicting what they're going to do, whether they're going to cook Dallo, whether they're going to do this, whether they're going to slice us apart, whatever, you know, I don't care. What I care about is what Man United are going to do. And I'm thinking more on the positive side of things, that the game hasn't started, guys. The game hasn't started. I don't want any doubts. I don't want any doubts, because I have no doubts that we can go there and win. And we have to be like that. We have to be like that as Man United. We can't, well, obviously we're not going to get overly giddy. We're going to show Liverpool respect. They're a great footballing team. They're the champions. We know that. But why not? Why not? Why not we go there? Why can't we go there and show them? Why not? Because this is your chance. Greatness wasn't built on comfort zones. I say it again and again and again. Do you know what I mean? Big up my friend Prenzo. What's going on, Prenzo Lavenzi? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Lamens is a glimpse of hope and fresh air. Absolutely, Prenzo. When I think about that Liverpool game, you know when you get a goalkeeper, right, that you feel like they're not going to concede a goal. That's how I feel with Senny Lamens. I just feel like he's so controlling. He's so calm. I just can't see him conceding a goal. I can't see the ball going past him. That's a great feeling to have. No, I know it's only one game. And I'm not going to get overly zealous, but just watching him in that game, and I've watched Senny Lamens, people know in this stream, I've watched Senny Lamens for over a year, and that guy is the epitome of calmness and putting the team out of pressure. Grabbing that ball, taking authority. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Wesley. Sal, that's Amram's system. He won't change it. So Embremo won't be able to play there on the right wing. But he can play there. He can play there, Wesley. He can. He's done it before for Brentford. Stephen, we need to he done it for Cameroon the other day. We need to put in a good performance, or it will be a long day. Absolutely. Yeah, it will be. I don't think it's anything to do with system, guys. It's nothing to do with system. It's to do with personnel. Amram has his favourites in certain positions. And Bremo can play right wing. We can play Manu in the middle, and we can play Bruno as a 10. That will actually be more balanced, in my opinion. Maguire gives us pressure. He gives us blood pressure. Yeah, he does. Definitely. I should send a bill to his house in regards to my blood pressure and stuff like that, Yeah, look, a lot of these players do. If we win, the media will have a frenzy. They will have a frenzy, but they'll make excuses. That's what they'll do. They'll say, Man United. Man United, they win these type of games, but it's against the Bournemouths and the Wolves of this world that they don't win games. And we need to put it straight. We need to change the narrative, change the record, and just try and win football matches. That's what we need to do. And don't worry about what they're saying, guys. Absolutely. He scored against Mauritius last week, playing for the right. Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he did. Obviously, it's only Mauritius, of course, guys. Mauritius is a lovely place, by the way. But yes, he did score the other day. Of course, he does. He does score for Cameroon. He does always score for Cameroon, doesn't he? And looking forward to seeing him in the World Cup, hopefully, and in the AFCON, of course, guys. So that will be happening very, very soon, guys. But yeah, look, you know what? I just feel like we're very one-dimensional in regards to our team selection, and it's not about tactics, system. It's nothing to do with that. We've proven the system isn't a problem. Against Sunderland, against Burnley, against Arsenal when we dominated them. It's nothing to do with system. It's personnel in the system. And playing certain players out of position. For example, Bruno, even in a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, is not a midfield central. And as we know, under Eric Ten Hag, Bruno played in that 3 in the middle, and we were still Bagel FC, guys. We were still wide open, as we remember. Nothing to do with system. Players in the system. Now, ill discipline is a problem at a football club, sticking to positions, and you know what? Just basically throwing your colleague under the bus. Wesley, Sal, what's your thoughts on giving Harry Maguire a new contract? I would rather sell him than, I think that if Man United keep rewriting the same chapters or rereading the same chapters over and over again, I don't think we're going to progress, Wesley. I think that Man United need to move on from Harry Maguire. Man United need to move on from Bruno. Man United need to move on from Shaw. Man United need to move on from Casemiro. That's what we need to do. Man United need to do that. Man United need to move on. And if we keep rewriting the same bloody chapter over and over again, we're going to get the same story, guys. At the end of the day. And this is the problem. These players, they talk, he's a leadership group. Leadership in what? Leadership in what? Losing. All they've proven to us over many, many years is that they are leaders in losing. That's all they're good at. That's all they've experienced. How can they go to a young player coming through at Man United, right, and start talking to them when all they've done is underachieve? And that's what I would say about it, Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, I want to see Sesko. Absolutely, mate. That'd be brilliant. That'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? A little celebration from Sesko in front of the cop. Lovely. I would love that, mate. Sal, what do you think of Shaw and Maguire have been working on in training to improve for the last 2 weeks? I don't know what you can improve at 29, 30 years old, Gary. I don't know what. You can't change the spots on a leopard. You are what you are at that age. What are they going to do? All of a sudden become world-class players? It's madness, isn't it? It's like saying to Peter Crouch, Peter, I want you to do skills like Ronaldinho. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen, isn't it? You can't change a player. You can't change their body structure. You can't change someone from being a bozo at the end of the day. And that's what they are. They're always going to be prone to mistakes. They're at 30 years old. They're not going to improve. All these things, oh, next season I'm going to be better. Now I'm going to be better. Now I'm going to go to training. I'm going to train hard. I'm going to be better. Shouldn't have been training harder many, many years ago for the last 10 years. Shouldn't have been training hard to improve for the last 10 years. Because all they're telling me is that over the years, they haven't really tried to improve. That is what that's telling me. That right there is telling me that we don't train hard. We haven't trained hard in years, but this time we're going to train hard and we're going to improve this time. This time we're new and improved. Absolutely. Guys, you're just polishing a turd. That's all you're doing. And that's what they are. They will always show and they will always smell. That's what they are, guys. Absolutely. We should let him go. We've got to stop holding on to these guys. I know they're nice lads. I know they're good lads. I know that you get on with them and they make you laugh. You know what I mean? I know they're good crack around the place and stuff like that. I know that. That's great. But at the end of the day, Manchester United as a football club need to move on from these players, guys. I really do. Neil, some channels say doing the same thing over and over again is expecting different. Is not insane. UPTV. United. What's UPTV? United what? United Pratt TV. What is it? United Pub TV. What is it, guys? I don't know that. What's UPTV? I don't really know what that is, mate. United, all right. Now, UPTV are so stuck up in Glazer's backside, I wouldn't really talk about them. It's a bit like watching Judge Judy watching UPTV. It's boring, right? At the end of the day, they are pro Ineos, they are pro Glazer, so I don't take them seriously. I don't take their footballing opinion seriously. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely not. And I have my feelings about people who just sit there, talk, bore the life out of me, and just keep it nice and sweet and peaceful and nicely and talking like you're bloody in a courtroom. Big up Neil, my friend. Mark, Maguire has not lost 7-0 to Liverpool. The back four was Dalot, Shaw, Martinez, Varane. It was, but you know what? I don't want to really talk about the 7-0 mark. I know you're obsessed about that this morning. I'm not really obsessed about it. I don't really want to talk about it. It was a different time, different game, different players, more or less, different system, different everything. You know, it was just a bad day. You may also remember that last year, who got the equaliser? Licha Martinez. Dalot played in that game last year as well. Maguire played in that game last year. Shaw played in that game, didn't he, last year as well? So, and we drew 2-2 and should have won. I will really get angry if we start Shaw on Sunday. I think he will, mate. I think you have to agree that he's going to start Shaw. I think he's going to start the same team, guys, as he started against Sunderland. That's what I think. Jude, good morning. A negotiation Maguire contract after wasting 8 million and more than 100 million in wages to the club decides. I wonder why we're here. Jude, I don't know, brother. I don't know. I've said it 100,000 times. We need to get rid of the players that have been there stinking out the place for many years. Leadership in losing. That's all it is at the end of the day. I think Man United need to move on from those players. I agree with that, Jude. But what can I say? I don't know whether they got something in their contracts. I don't know whether there's someone upstairs is saying, look, we need to give Maguire a chance and blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't know. You know, I'd have to wait and see. Neil, after one season, the player trajectory should be apparent. We give players 10 plus seasons. Bruno shouldn't even be here after his third season. We should crash and rebuild. Absolutely. So what, guys, I want to know this, right? This whole, one of the big buzz sentences in regards to Ineos when they came in was, we're not going to give the players more than 3 years. If they don't make it in 3 years, they're going to be gone. So, Maguire, Bruno, 3 years, not won any Premier League titles, Champions Leagues, nothing like that, 15th place. Are they going to be gone? Because at the end of the day, they're contradicting themselves at the moment here, guys. They are contradicting themselves. Are they going to be gone? I don't know. Because they've had their chances. I believe they've had a chance, and I don't believe these players are going to improve. I don't believe they can add anything. It's insanity, isn't it? You know, because how can you say that these players all of a sudden are going to be world-class players, are going to turn it around at their age? It's just insanity, mate. I don't know. Dave, good morning. Hope you're well, Dave. Question is, what is the likes of Maguire, Shaw, and also Amram doing behind the scenes that makes Ineos want to keep them? Because it can't be their Anfield performances, surely. Look, you know what I would say, Dave? I believe that there's more smoke, there's more that meets the eye in regards to Manchester United. Ruben Amram said there's things that go on behind the scenes that we don't know about. I actually think that there is noises upstairs saying, look, you know what? You've got to keep Maguire. You've got to keep Bruno. You've got to keep Shaw because they're good lads. They're good lads. I think that happens. I really do. You honestly think in your heart of hearts, that Ruben Amorim, instead of having Maguire, have Maguire ahead of any player in Europe, any defender in Europe. Do you think he would love Harry Maguire ahead of Diomande, ahead of Ignacio? Of course he wouldn't. It's what we're being fed. It's what they're feeding him. Oh, we ain't got no choice but to keep Maguire, rather than having Maguire, rather than buying a new defender, we can keep Maguire, he's good enough. We're going to have a 34-year-old Maguire, guys. Maguire turns like a bus right now, guys, and we're going to have Maguire. There's a reason we are very prone to the cutback goal. The cutback goal when you cut it back? There's a reason we're prone to that. You know what I mean? Because he can't shape his body in time. How's he going to shape his body in time at 34? It's madness. Absolutely. Prenzo. Shaw and Maguire are training half of their new contract. Absolutely. Shaw's waiting for that World Cup call-up, isn't he, mate? Wesley, I don't understand why Amorim doesn't play the youngsters like Aiden Heaven and even Mainu. I heard Mainu is Bruno's successor. I don't understand, Wesley. I've spoken about it in depth. I don't understand it, but the ultimate thing for Ruben Amorim is that he needs to win games, and that's it. And if he doesn't win games, we all know what's going to happen, isn't it? He does need to also concentrate on the future. He does need to think about Aiden Heaven because Aiden Heaven played a lot last season. Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven are the future of Man United's defense backline, right? And they should be playing every single game, right? That is what it is. Because right now, when I see Maguire, when I see Shaw, right, I think it's self-perseverance. I think it's like he's playing safe, right? Because they're the oldest players in the thing, but they are known to down tool. They are known to let you down at any given moment, Absolutely. Wesley, I heard we are in for Inter Milan defender DiMarco. Yes, spoke about it a few weeks ago. We are in for DiMarco. He's one of the players that are Man United's wish list. Spoke about it a few weeks ago, last year, actually, Wesley. Man United have a transfer wish list of around 100 players. That transfer wish list has been the same for the last year, more or less. And there are players that have been added. DiMarco was always one of those players on the list, mate. Absolutely. Good morning, Tyro Gunner TV. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you again. Good to see you, my guy. Absolutely. Good to see you, as usual. Wesley, we have some even better players under 20. Shea Lacey, guys. Thwaites, guys. Mantato. Thwaites is being compared to Pedri, right? Mantato is good enough. Lacey, goodness me, Shea Lacey, guys. I've been banging the drum about Shea Lacey for years not years, but months and months and months. Guys, absolutely. Dave, the Glazers have been so bad and the club is toxic, yes. But when it comes to Amorim, let us stay on the topic with him since he is the one that sets up the slaughter week in, week out, not the owners. The owners are the ones who supply you with the tools to do your job, mate. The owners are the ones who didn't buy him a midfielder, mate. The owners are the one who didn't buy him a wing-back, mate. The owners are the one who gave a 5 out of 10 window, mate. You're only as good as the tools you're supplied. If you send me into a sword fight with a breadstick, what do you want me to do? He can only work around what he's got. Yeah, there's a couple of changes here and there. Maybe Bruno, number 10, Mainu, but you honestly think that's going to make a huge difference? I don't. Absolutely not. Arsenal not scored to play youngsters. Look where they are now. Arsenal not scared. Absolutely. Not only them. Man United are the pioneers in that, innit? That's what Man United have been, and I don't know why we've gone away from that. 50 likes. Big up everyone. Big up my friend. Big up everyone for 50 likes. The minimum is 50 likes, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who smashed the like on the video. Of course, guys. I want to say thank you to everyone. Guys who has joined me today, and don't forget I am back later on for Chatterbox, guys. And guys, don't forget to smash a like. I know some of you haven't. I know some of you are lurking in the shadows. Please don't forget to smash a like. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put your notifications on as well, guys. Absolutely. Mark, you obviously isn't watching closely. He played in the Hong Kong games. He played in the Asian All-Stars games as well, and he was fantastic, Mark. So don't play down stuff that you don't know, Mark. These talents don't get a chance to make a break because it will be see the same players every season. United stuck on a treadmill that keeps on nostalgia. Chemtrail. That keeps them nostalgia. Absolutely. Mantato's a great player, fantastic player. So is Shea Lacey, guys. Youth, courage, success. As Alex Ferguson said, if you don't give youth a chance, they seldom and they stagnate and they drift off into the abyss. And that's what happens. And as Man United, we need to believe in it. Would you rather believe in him or Diego Dallo, who's proven to foul week in, year in, month in, year in, out? Guys, absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I shall see you later. Don't forget to join me, guys, and have a great day wherever you are in the world. Take it easy, guys. Smash a like, by the way. Peace.